What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Amalgam Games Lab. I am your host, Shannon Haegler, alongside Keena Johnston.
That's me.
That's you.
I don't ever know what to do as a co-host. I'm like, I'm here.
You are. You're here. You make the... Yep.
I make this boat go round.
Oh, boy. It's a ramshackle episode, but this is the show where we talk about the games industry and gaming at large. Before we get...
I'll tell you what, there's been a large stuff amount
There's
happening.
a large thing that we kind of want to talk about. We might be a bit late. We missed the boat, but that's okay. It needs to be said. Things need to be said about this thing.
We have opinions. Otherwise
yeah.
we wouldn't be doing this.
Yes. Many opinions. Opinions on the internet, who would have thought?
Not me. I just thought it was racist.
God damn it. Before we get started, the housekeeping, please make sure you check out the Amalgam show later on this week where we talk about pop culture things we're into. It's a longie this time. We're all present. We're all there, all accounted for.
All five of us. Someone needs to go.
Someone needs to be voted off the island. Remember to check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/amalgam show, where you can listen to our Amalgam Archaeology series. If you have any questions, comment below or email us at amalgamshow@gmail.com. Leave that like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. There we go. We're done. Let's dive in to the only story that's mattered over the last couple of weeks.
That actually matters.
It actually, this is a thing that doesn't, it's not just a, game matters in the gaming. This thing actually matters for, several different reasons.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. IGN got fucking ramrodded.
Yeah.
With some scandals.
To say the least.
With a specific scandal.
To a specific dickhead.
Yeah. Right. So, for those of you who don't know, IGN had a reviewer by the name of Philip Mucin?
Yeah.
Philip Mucin, I think it actually is?
I think it's just Philip.
Philip? Okay. Or is it Philippe because he's a YouTuber?
Maybe, but also I just hear everyone calling him Philip, like all the people at IGN, you're like, yeah, he's Philip.
Right. Okay, cool. Well, essentially he was a YouTuber who built up a following, built up a nice fan base over the years, and got the attention of IGN to the point where he was hired as the head of Nintendo, I think it was.
Yeah, he was Nintendo editor.
Yeah.
I think it's a Nintendo editor.
Yeah, and the Nintendo editor had left recently, within the last 12 months.
Altero, yeah.
And he is fantastic.
He's brilliant. I miss him. Jose is fucking good stuff. I think he's working at Nintendo, I want to say.
Oh, okay, cool.
Could be wrong. Usually everyone who works on the Nintendo channel at IGN goes to Nintendo.
Eventually.
Not Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah.
The other woman who works there was also great.
Yeah.
Audrey Drake, got it.
Eventually. Got there eventually.
Yeah.
So Philip Mucin takes over this role as the Nintendo editor for all that kind of stuff. He posts a review recently over the last couple of weeks of a game that has kind of taken the gaming world by storm, Dead Cells.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to say before this, the first bit of news, which we vaguely talked about, was that Dead Cells, they all pay their people equally.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. And then the game comes out 1.0, and then this debacle happens.
Yeah. So Dead Cells it's a fantastic game. I haven't played it yet, but
I really want to.
It's fine. Doesn't seem like my cup of tea, which is why I haven't touched it yet, but, it's getting rave reviews across the board. It kind of took the industry by storm. And, of course, IGN being at the focus of everything, published a review for it, a video review.
Both are written in a video. They do
right, did he do the written one? Okay, cool.
Usually what they do is they do the written video, and then, they'll take bits out of that review and just pop it into the video.
Okay, so his written view was the same as the Boomsticks as well?
It would be close to it. Okay, so the written review sometimes is the script for the video review.
Yeah, okay.
Sometimes it is also just they'll add different nuances to it because those things don't need to be in a video review.
Right. Yeah.
But they're essentially the same thing. You watch the video review, you will get the gist of the written review.
Cool.
If not, it is exactly the same.
So
thing.
what ends up happening is the video review goes up. And a smaller YouTuber by the name of Boomstick Gaming, I'm going to give him his proper name because he gets his props here.
Yep.
Puts a post on Reddit, I believe, and it's basically saying hey, I think IGN ripped off my review, and it's a side by side.
What do I do?
Yeah, of his review and Philip Mucin's review, and they are pretty much identical.
It starts off. vague. Like he's like, okay, these are just generic terms that like video gamers say, like reviewers say, because that's what the industry.
It starts off with the generic. Dead Cells is a Metroidvania style game, like all that kind of
procedurally generated, blah blah blah,
blah 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 blah. The combat is tight. This is like all that kind of generic stuff. But when he gets down into the details, it starts to become like, oh, this is a 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Like, and so he publishes that review. Boomstick puts the post on Reddit and is like, what do I do? And the shitstorm ensues. Indubitably. Holy fuck. So, they go through with it. They take the review down, I believe is the first step.
I think so, yeah.
They do an investigation, find out that, yes, he plagiarized this. They fire him immediately. Like
after their internal investigation, yeah.
Which wasn't long. It was
like 24-ish hours.
Yeah, like it was 1, maybe 2 days.
Yeah.
Where they're like, no, we did the investigation, he fucked up, he's done. And he's gone. He then posts this fucking
apology, non-apology video on his YouTube
he does that
channel.
YouTube style, like staring at the camera, like half tearing up.
I didn't watch it, but I saw it. Oh my god.
Fuck this guy.
Yeah.
And then he
doesn't take responsibility
for it. He apologizes to his fans or something.
Apologizes to his fans that this has happened. He's apologized to the IGN co-workers that oh, I'm sorry this has happened. And he also claims that the reason he's saying that he plagiarizes is that oh, my idea is you have to do. Every reviewer does research. They read other reviews. They read.
We'll get into that.
I think that and I'm every reviewer is like, you fucking what, cunt?
And he calls out Jason Schreier.
Which was
fucking amazing.
It's my favorite part of the movie.
Where he's like, oh yeah, you're just doing it for clickbait, and Jason
doesn't do anything for clickbait.
He's a well-respected journalist.
Yeah.
Well-respected journalist. Basically challenges people to find other examples of plagiarism.
What a fucking dickhead.
They find other examples of plagiarism. His FIFA review is apparently ripped off.
Which was pre-IGN.
Yep. No, but a bunch of his other stuff as well.
Even at IGN. What I'm saying, that specific FIFA one was pre-IGN.
Yep, but then...
a bunch of stuff. There's a news article about the...
HD Rumble?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was straight up stolen from Nintendo Life, I want to say.
Yeah, I think
that's
so.
it. I visited that website recently. I'm like, oh, this is a cool site.
Yeah. Then he takes down his video because he looks like a fucking idiot.
The internet is on board with everything. Not on board, what am I thinking? Just on top of everything, that's it.
The IGN writers and editors hit their stride on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw a couple of them on Twitter just saying, basically, fuck you. You've made this week fucking stressful and, we don't deserve this. Not that we don't deserve this. It's just why did you do this?
They were fucking angry. And it wasn't just the generic, social media, we're disappointed and...
Yeah.
It was, I'm pissed. They were angry that this had happened.
The specific tweet that I remember is from Brian Altano, who was a Nintendo editor. He's now video guy now.
Yeah.
Roles don't mean anything in websites anymore. But yeah, he here's my Twitter, here's my thing on Twitter, and it wasn't the tweet. It was screenshots
the
of
note.
Things.
Yeah,
and I feel like a few more people did that.
Yeah,
and they're just
it's you can't get what we want to say out in 140 characters. So here's a snapshot of my notes.
Yeah.
And me swearing a lot at this guy.
Yeah, the fact that I saw swearing at our co-worker, I'm like, oh, yeah, no, that's justified.
Yeah. And then this results in IGN scrubbing all of his content.
Yeah, saying we can't go through this one by one. It's just better to be safe than sorry and just purge him from.
Yeah, and then I think anything. So, I think the ending aftermath was anything that had his name on it solely has been scrubbed.
Yep.
Anything that he helped with has some sort of disclaimer on it now.
Yeah.
So if there was a bunch of writers and he was involved in it, they put a disclaimer next to it. And
such
sucks.
as a top 25 or something.
Yeah. And it sucks because now
it's compromised.
Those writers are compromised even though they didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
This whole thing is a shitstorm.
Yeah. It's... IGN's at the centre of a few controversies, but this is one of them. And I think I'm an IGN fan. I'll just say that. I do most of the editors there. I like the content they produce. I'm not yeah. Anyway, point is, I think they dealt with this almost
perfectly. I think
almost perfectly as you could in the situation.
I don't think
it wasn't
there was any other response.
like they didn't like defend him or anything. Like
nope.
It just I think they could. I don't think there's anything they could have done better.
They did exactly what they should have, which was they came out with the diplomatic response first, which is we are going to look into this, and they actually looked into it. And when they came to their results, they took immediate decisive action.
Yeah.
And it was just done. Yeah. And they have, like, washed their hands of him. And I feel bad for the guys at IGN because this is the kind of thing that will stick around with them forever.
Yeah, it'll be one of those, just another thing, just like IGN done a couple of other things. Not nowhere near to this degree, but just like little things that, like, people remember. And it'll always... It's that people who say you can't spell ignorant without IGN. It's
Fuck
that
those
crowd.
guys. Fuck those guys.
I know.
Yeah.
It's that crowd that'll be like, haha, can we trust this review? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the problem with the internet is that they have decided... The internet at large has decided that most video game reviewing outlets, like the big ones, are shitty.
Yeah.
They don't want to listen to them anymore. And they think that they're paid off.
But they still go there and put comments, enter the traffic in.
Give them views and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and it pisses me off because they didn't need this. But they are going to take this as a pitchfork thing, and it's like... This guy shits me to tears.
Yeah.
Because there are so many people in this industry that
bust their ass.
Yeah, and take the time to do these things correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And in one fell swoop, he's fucked them all.
He's fucked the entire industry. Now I feel slowly these major sites like IGN, GameSpot, maybe... I don't know about Kotaku, but I wouldn't be surprised later down the line. They have to put something in, like, turn it in. Like, I'm not sure how that'll go, if they'll build their own, but yeah, there will be a thing just because this one dude fucked it up for everyone, that turn it in will now just be a thing. But even then, that's not a good solution because he stole from a video review that doesn't have a written script.
Exactly. That's
the counter argument to this turn it in system, unless, like, it's just a shit show. Yeah,
and he's a piece of shit for it because he's gotten there the quick way. And now, I mean, the thing that I can say is that this is a career killer. I don't think you'll ever see him again
on a major major gaming website. No, because but he could. Launch a Patreon and get successful. I know a lot of people, we've seen a lot of people fall from grace and then their supporters support them and then they come back stronger than ever.
I just don't get what the support is for when you look back at his history and literally everything he's done is not original.
Yeah. Some people pointed down to the idea that they've been following him from the start. They sort of miss his controversy because they're not as dialed in and just like, and then they see this apology video. And like, I still like your content. I'll support you. It's like not fair weather fans, just like basic fans that aren't tuned in. And
see, I don't know if that fan base is going to be... I don't know if that's the kind of fan base that will actually give money to him.
That's a good point as well. But even ad revenue still...
Yeah, I mean, but not anymore, not on YouTube. Like, you have to probably go to Twitch.
Well,
it's just... It's a clusterfuck, and he's put himself in that situation, and I'm pretty happy.
I hope he never gets any more attention. I hope this is the last we ever hear of him.
Yeah, I mean, we're giving him attention, but...
I mean, outside of talking about this, outside of the memification of, haha, I just feel I'm using this meme.
Yeah.
Which I kind of like that as a verb. It's like, I stole it, but no, actually attaching a person to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hopefully he's done and we never see from it again. But I really just wanted to talk about it in terms of, I kind of wanted to counterpoint his fucking apology video. Because that needs to be said a million times that he said in his little video that everyone does this. That is false.
That is false.
That is incorrect.
Since I've been listening to the podcast, people write in to say, "Hey, do you investigate the game before it comes out? Do you read other reviews?" And they're like, every podcast I've listened to says no. Mm-hmm. We don't, because we might seep into it. Our thoughts might not be our own original thoughts. Mm-hmm. And while the end result, some people might say the exact same thing. That coincidence, that you can put that down to coincidence, because then you know unequivocally that these were our own original ideas.
Not only that, but it's also writing style. Like the thing that is writing style is very unique to a person, as well as video style, like the way you present yourself. It's all very unique to the individual. So if two people come to the same conclusion about a game, you can tell it was their own thoughts because the style will allow, like their own individual writing style seeps through, their own personality seeps through. Yeah. If you're copying, it's not your personality, and you can tell. Yeah. You can tell when someone's just reading off a script.
Yeah.
And so that is the thing that I wanted to make sure that, like, people understand that reviewers don't do that. They don't read each other's reviews. They don't talk to each other about this stuff. Yeah. They play the game themselves. They take their own thoughts. They put them down onto paper. They get them down to refined. They post the video review or the regular written review. And then once that is done, then they talk to other people. Yeah. Then they read other reviews.
Like, I know sometimes they will talk to other people, like, oh, did you get to this part in this game? Because, like, it's very, very exciting, and there's only, like, 5 people playing it at the time.
Yeah,
like, and then they'll say, hey, this is cool, and they'll have a quick interaction about it, but that's it. Yeah. They keep everything brief. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's hard because it's human nature. Like, a lot of the time, these games, like these outlets, get to play games before anyone else does.
Like, there's people playing Spider-Man now. No one's actually officially allowed to say it, but that game, people are playing Spider-Man.
Yeah, like, and no one has the ability to talk about it except to the people who are also playing it right now for review.
Yeah,
and like that's a fun little thing they get to do. But I worry about what this might do in terms of the whole industry being coloured, because we went through the Gamergate thing a few years ago, and that's still reverberating in the community, and people don't trust reviewers, and that's really scary to me, because where that ends is all of the companies going, we won't do reviews anymore, we'll just do YouTubers and influencers, and that's fucking worse.
Yeah.
The thing that I don't understand is these people think that reviewers are paid, but then trust YouTubers who are directly paid, like directly given shit.
Yeah, that's a very good point that I don't think anyone has raised.
Hashtag ad.
Yeah. Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you people? Are you trusting these people who are on YouTube, who are legitimately being given the game by the company to make it sound good?
Yeah.
And you would prefer that to a reviewer who gets the copy and then just puts their own thoughts out there?
At most, like, the most expensive thing that they might have a sent console from a company.
A free copy of that game.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, like, the console itself.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, they might
Maybe.
have, like... Yeah.
Maybe. But most reviewing outlets have just, like, a set of consoles that they let everyone use.
Yeah.
And honestly, at this point in time in the industry, most people probably already own the consoles they need to play the games anyway. Yeah, usually, the most they are getting is the free copy of the game.
Yeah. And even then, that's, like, very tangential in terms of, like, now people are just are given codes.
Yeah.
Because, like, it used to be a physical box, and you're like, oh, this is and now they just haul those codes out. Like, everyone has one.
Yeah. And I just don't get it, and I hope that this doesn't sting the rest of the industry.
I think it will. I don't know how. Like I said, they turn it in, but, like, again, Mucin stole from a video thing, and you can't cross-reference that unless that technology is in its, like, early forms, which probably exists, and then, like, IGN just pays. I don't think they would at the moment.
Transcribing a video.
Yeah. There's probably technology that, like, Google is good. Google, for the most part, is good with picking up your voice, and it would be not too much of a stretch for Google to be able to, like, auto transcribe.
Yeah,
I think I can see that technology coming very soon, and then third party companies getting on, like, oh, we can do this for plagiarism sort of thing. Even, like, outside of video games, like, this could go. This specific
YouTube
thing you
already
can go.
has similar technology in terms of their, like, content ID stuff, where it scans the video for phrases and things that are copyrighted or sound bites of music, and then flags them if they have too much of it.
Yeah.
So it's doable in some way, but the other thing that angers me about this is that, like, what we're doing here, like, I enjoy doing this. If I was to have this as a full-time job, that would be fucking great.
Yeah.
I would love to do something like that.
Yeah.
This guy just made it a fucking ton more difficult.
Yeah.
Because there are a limited number of positions out there. The big media outlets are sort of dwindling over the years as things head more to YouTube and Twitch and stuff like that. So there's limited spaces out there. He's just made it a fuck ton harder because now everyone, like... My thought isn't just like, oh, the industry might hit a shockwave that means that those positions dry up even faster because those companies have to small down and all that kind of stuff. The other side of it is that now I hope that IGN doesn't get gun-shy about hiring another YouTuber.
I honestly don't know. I think...
I don't know what their hiring practices are.
They would definitely be a lot more hesitant.
Yeah.
And... I don't even know how they would go about it because, like, they've been burnt, and I don't know if they have any other YouTubers at the moment.
I'm sure they probably have a few.
Like, there's a lot of
people
new
who
faces all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, like, an Australian, Alana Pierce.
Alana Pierce, yeah.
She recently left there.
Yeah.
But, you know, she was a YouTuber.
She's doing stuff with NoClip now at the moment.
Yeah, which is interesting. She's, like, she's a bunch of stuff now. But, yeah, no, she's really... Yeah, she's a YouTuber. She made fucking excellent work at IGN, but felt too restricted, so she left. I want more people like Alana Pierce. Like, she is super dedicated. Incredible worker. But, Philip Mucin is the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Mucin, lazy.
Yeah,
Mucin, like, he hosted the Nintendo IGN podcast, Nintendo Voice Chat. They had a part called Skip of the Week. So it's like, oh, you choose the game and you would choose to skip it. And as most other podcasts have, like, oh, pick of the week. Like, what out of everything, what's the crowning jewel? This was like, what's the game not to play? And, like, everyone, like, no one liked that. Like, everyone would audibly groan on the podcast, like, we don't want to do this. Maybe not say that, but it's like, do we have to? And then, and then, like, one of the first things is, like, asking Brian Altano and a couple of the other people at Nintendo's podcast is like, hey, well, since he's not there, will this be a part of the thing? Like, no, we are getting rid of it. None of us liked it. It's gone. And, like, it was his original thing, so we can definitely get rid of it super easy. And podcasts are, like, they're not corporate. Like, no one's... Like, Per Snyder, the owner of IGN, or not the owner, but, like, the dude who runs IGN is on that podcast. He can do whatever. But,
I mean, that's such a shitty thing. Like, I listen to a lot of stuff and see a lot of, like... Negativity drives on the internet. People love negative stuff. That tends to be the way things go.
Yeah.
You tend to, I don't know about you, but in my experience, I've tended to lean towards outlets and personalities who dislike the same things as me. I
find those people, yes.
Yeah, and that tends to get me listening to them. And then, because it's funnier and more...
Yeah.
It is more fun. It's fun to sometimes shit on something that you don't like.
Yeah.
And so I tend to lean towards them and then find out that, hey, actually, because we dislike the same thing, we tend to like the same things as well. And that grows the fandom in me a little bit more.
Yeah.
But to have a segment on your show that is just, I'm going to shit on a game every week? Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, especially because it was coming up at the same time as the Switch, where everyone is in love with the Switch. Yeah, the Switch gets a lot of, like, not great indie games, but...
Could you imagine doing that kind of segment back when the Wii was a thing?
It'd be easy, but like
with all the shovelware that was on it, like fucking, what is wrong with you? That's not a helpful piece of information to give the public.
Exactly, as well. Like it's just, I don't know.
People don't need to be told what to skip; they'll just skip it.
Yeah,
they need to be told what to play so they don't get the skip thing accidentally.
Yeah, and people sometimes do get the skip thing because it's an easy platinum,
and people like it.
Yeah,
like there is a thing to be said. Everyone's personal taste is everyone's personal taste. They're going to have differences in those kind of things, but critical analysis of something and why it is good, bad, ugly, whatever, is necessary. To drop that down to a segment in a podcast where you tell people not to play a game is fucking atrocious.
Or, like, a very specific moment like that. Or you get those reviewers, like Giant Bomb does this. They don't necessarily post reviews, do they?
They do.
Okay. I've just started re-listening to the Giant Bomb, but their example that they gave is this guy's been playing The Crew 2 on and off for like the last fucking... since that game came out.
Yeah.
And just by listening to those podcasts, you know he hates the game.
Yes, yeah.
You know he recommends you should not play that game.
Yeah.
You know, like... And he's like, yes, it might be a bit too much to ask the audience to just, like, compile that data together. But also, I'm not going to spend any more fucking time on the Crew 2. I don't want to spend another thought. Meanwhile, he rants about it for another half hour.
Yeah.
But the point is...
That is him, though. That was Jeff Gersman, who's been trying to get it. Yeah. And I totally understood his point on that week. It was just like... like, if you don't like a game... The way they do reviews, I like, is that essentially they all get kind of given the way they structure their website is that everyone there seems to have sort of a niche, the type of games that they like, and so they tend to play the games that they would prefer. And then they'll talk to each other about it on the podcasts or during their video streams or whatever. And tell the other people, like, oh, you should play this, and then they'll play it and be like, oh, this is great, and then they kind of get like a little hub thing together.
The point where I was going with that is that it does, like you get the conversation, like, oh, I don't like this game, like, oh, no, I love this game. Like, it's like the last 2 episodes of Beastcast is just like talking about balls for 25 minutes straight. Like, oh, I love balls. Balls is great. Oh, you should definitely get balls on the iOS. Is it on Android? I don't know if balls is on Android. Like, that's all that podcast is for like 25 minutes. Yeah. And like, that's the point. Like, that, like, you get, like, at a podcast, the thesis statement, you can get opinions from podcast because you can have a more nuanced and a more longer conversation than a review is like 2,500 words.
Yeah.
And like, you can change that up. You can be like super specific.
Essentially, what they do is that
it just go Nintendo. Like that thing was just like, oh, do not play. I can't think of a game. I can't think of a game that's bad. Don't play the Tiger game.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the way they do their reviews on Giant Bomb is that if the individual reviewer feels like they kind of needs to be a review of this game, they'll do one.
Yeah.
They'll write one, and then it's up on the website, and they give it the score and all that kind of stuff. Whether they think that it needs to be reviewed because this thing is amazing and people should know about it and it should be put in stone, or whether they think this thing is so goddamn awful it needs to be reviewed
and put in stone and push people away from it.
Yeah, exactly. So and I respect that version of it. Whereas I also respect the way that IGN and GameSpot and Kotaku do their kind of stuff. Like, they review everything. A lesser extent now. Like, IGN used to do every single game. Now that's impossible. So like, hey, you like this game? You review this. Jared Petty, a former IGNer, he does his own stuff. He's a contractor now. Yeah.
He's been contracted to do the Dragon Quest XI podcast review.
Yeah.
He's reviewing that at the moment. He's doing all that stuff. But yeah, because one, hard to find people who like JRPGs. No one at IGN really likes JRPGs that much. And Jared's like, hey, pay me, I'll do it.
Yeah.
He's more than happy to, and he's probably going to write fucking 3,000 words on it.
And this is the thing that really frustrates me about the whole situation, is that, like you get there are plenty of people out there who would kill for that position now. Absolutely kill for it. I would kill for it. I'd love to have this guy's position. I don't know if I'm ever going to get it now. Not because I don't have the skill set or anything like that, but because now, what is the path forward in there when YouTube is not enough anymore?
Yeah.
Where YouTube has now burned people.
Yeah.
What is the path forward for everyone else? And also, does this diminish the number of jobs that are now available? Will IGN suffer traffic-wise for this and thus have to downscale?
I think only the people who really give a fuck will, like, not leave it. But, like, okay, people who really give a fuck understand what's happening. People who, like, give less of a fuck, like, oh, IGN plagiarizes Dead Cells review. They're gonna, they're gonna forget until, like, the next review comes out, like, oh, what's Call of Duty Black Ops 4 like?
Yeah.
And then they're gonna just quickly go to, like, scroll down to the score, cool, you got the ad money from that. Like, they're going to... and then the people so far back probably don't even know this happening because they're just playing games, going to work, and then, like, they get a Twitter notification. They're like, oh, the Black Ops review's up. Let's see what that's like. Scroll to the bottom. It's a 5. Okay, fuck, I hate IGN.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, people, I don't think there'll be less traffic. I think they've already hired a new person. Like, there was a new job. Like, after this all happened, like, IGN is now hiring, and everyone's like, oh, I wonder why.
Oh, yeah, really? Fucking
and
really?
I think a guy got hired. I don't know who it is. I don't know where he is. Like, I don't know if he's replacing that position or if it's like a bit of a shuffle.
I think I heard that there was a shuffle.
Yeah.
I heard that someone who was already there has taken over Philip's position here.
I think I know who that is. I don't know who he is, but I've been listening to NBC, and I think he's now the host of that podcast, and he is like shuffling off.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if the new guy takes his job.
And
or new person.
Here was the thing that I wanted to mention as well about this whole story that I thought was really, really refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
IGN gets put in this shitstorm. They are a corporation. They are a business. They're
owned by Ziff Davis, which is like a huge media conglomerate.
Yeah, media conglomerate. So they... Normally in these kind of situations, when something like this happens, a company will normally direct all of their employees to PR.
Yeah.
Please fucking don't say anything unless you are part of the PR team.
Yeah.
Because we need to curb this fire and stop it where it is.
Yeah.
But if you look through Twitter and you look through everything that happened while this was going on, the editors at IGN absolutely got free rein to say whatever the fuck they wanted. Because
I don't think they talk about it too much on their podcast.
No, but personally, like each
on their own like non-IGN branded content, I think they do talk
pretty
about
much
it freely.
Every single person that I follow who's part of IGN had a moment where they said, in light of everything that's happened, I can't stay silent anymore. Here's my fucking thoughts.
Yeah.
Post a photo of their notes on their phone.
Yeah.
And just paragraphs of like, this is how I feel. This is a fucking shit show. I fucking hate this guy. What a piece of shit. And like, unfiltered, uncensored, just like, this is exactly what we feel and think. This is a travesty. This is bullshit. The entire like staff here is fucking angry at this guy. And they were allowed to just say it.
Yeah.
And I want to give props to IGN.
Yeah.
Because I could see other companies in this situation having their staff vent on social media about it, and they would get fired.
Yeah.
Similarly, like, kind of, the Guild Wars thing, the ArenaNet thing from a couple weeks ago, where that developer...
that's a bad situation.
She got into a Twitter scuffle with some dickbag on the internet.
As people are known to do.
Yeah, and because of her social media interactions, was fired from the company.
And so was the guy that says, I support her.
Yeah, and the guy who
That's all he really said.
All he said was like, hey guys, like, she's right, just chill out.
Apparently people like backtrace it. The reason why it was such a hasty decision because the next day was Independence Day and they wanted to take that public holiday off. They're like, fire them, we want tomorrow off, we want to go to our barbecues. It's just like, no, deal with your shit.
I
hate that.
But you see that like Twitter shitstorm there, and I'll bet if you go through those IGN posts, like the timeline feeds on those Twitter threads, and see all the replies, I'll bet you find a shitstorm in there too of backlash of people being like, no, Philip Mucin's the best, and like those kind of people.
I feel it's a small backlash, but yeah,
it would still be there, and it feels like more and more that backlash is heard by companies. Yeah. But like I said, I want to give props to them because those individual personalities went out there, gave their uncensored thoughts and feelings on the situation, and were allowed to do so, because I have not heard of any backlash against those employees for doing that.
No, I think maybe people take umbrage with certain positions, like certain like sentences, but like that's a normal dialogue that people have on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's just normal backlash. That's what happens when you have a social media presence.
Yeah. I just feel like I haven't heard that like.
Yeah,
like I haven't
Matt
heard.
Scoville's been fired because he said he hates Philip Mucin.
Yeah, you know, or Brian Altano being fired because he was like fuck, like because his thing was there was a lot of swearing in there. And he apologized for it in the tweet. He was like, "I'm sorry, but this is what I feel."
Yeah.
And I haven't heard of them. Like, I'll bet. Again, I don't know. I don't work for IGN.
Yeah.
But I'll bet there was probably some sort of staff meeting where the bigwigs got in and went, "Look, we understand, we get it, we totally know you guys have been venting, that's fine. Please keep it to your private stuff, just keep it off the actual IGN, like, sponsored stuff.
Yeah.
Not because we don't want you guys to vent, but because we're G-rated or whatever, and we need to keep you swearing off. Other than that, go for it. Yeah. We totally get it, we're working on it." Like, and that feels like what happened,
based on... It seems like what's happened, yeah.
And like I said, want to give respect to them for that, because that is something that I do not see any company doing in this day and age. Is if there's any social media upflare, usually companies are there to shut it down.
I think because this was such almost a clear cut and dry situation.
It was so black and
It was
white.
a cut and paste situation.
Fucking damn it.
I think they felt like, this is such an easy example. Yeah, you can shit on him. Like, there's almost no, like, it wasn't very nuanced. It was very, like...
Yeah, I mean, my thing is that I was just... My concern would be, like, these companies all have legal departments.
Yeah.
And my question is there a legal person being there, like, oh, does this guy have grounds for defamation?
Yes,
But I don't think he does, because
like
fuck him.
IGN's team and Ziff Davis's team are probably stronger than whatever he can get.
Absolutely.
YouTube ad money.
And not just that, though, but, like, he's been found guilty.
Yeah.
Like, you can call a murderer when they've been found guilty of being, like, of murder.
Yeah.
So, he's been found guilty of being of plagiarizing, and that is fucking shitty, and no one wants that in this industry, because that's not the way things are done. So fuck him, he goes to hell.
What kind of sucks, because this is such a young industry, video game, and especially video game media, he's going to be the first one. And then, like other newspaper like classic media, newspapers, there's going to be more plagiarizers in the future.
Yeah, and that is the bit that scares me about this, is that, like, he's the one we caught.
Yes, I see what you mean, but I feel there's no one else who would, in terms of, like, the big outlets.
I mean, in terms of the big ones, I totally get it, but, like, my concern now, and I think this is an unfounded concern, and the thing is, there are going to be plenty of people who have this concern who will stick to it, and that is a problem. And that is, we now live in an era where this guy from Boomstick Gaming did the review, saw the other review, put them together, figured out that it was plagiarized off of him, posted it to Reddit, and got an instant following of like thousands of people, because the internet nowadays is so quick on the uptake.
Yeah.
Something small like that can turn into a massive blaze in just minutes because of how far-reaching the internet is. 10 years ago, that's not so prevalent.
No.
Okay. The concern here is that, are we going to find more people who did something maybe not as egregious but similar back in the age where where internet wasn't as big, and so therefore ripping something off of the internet wasn't as detrimental because there aren't as many people looking for shit back then.
Are you referring to still the big people, or
no?
Okay.
Well, maybe, I don't know.
Because there are examples of independent YouTubers straight up plagiarizing, but they don't get any call for it because they're independent and YouTube doesn't give a fuck. There are people who straight up just read Kotaku articles word for word without crediting anyone from Kotaku. Like, whereas, like, I listen to kind of funny games where, like, they'll take the article, credit the person, and then put their own critical analysis on it.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what we try to do. That's when I bring up a point like, oh, Giant Bomb or Kind of Funny said this. I'll say that. Like, because I'm crediting them, like, I'm taking their thoughts and adapting it to my own, but I'll give you my original source, because that's how I consume media. The
other thing as well, though, is I think you need to make a distinction between the fact that, like, those are guys that do this full-time. We have lives outside of this. I do a job 9 to 5. I don't have the time to actually play these games all the time. So in terms of my opinions, I do have to pull from other sources. The difference here with this guy is that his fucking job was to review video games. He didn't have to pull from other sources. His job was to have his own opinions. We do this as a small thing at the moment, and if I was to ever have the ability to make an income off of this, I would suddenly stop doing everything else and play the fucking video games. So it's more difficult that way to kind of look at it. Like, I get it. There'll be smaller YouTubers out there who do a lot of, like... There are a lot of YouTubers that I watch that all they do is they talk about the news in general by pulling articles from other people, like we do. And that's because we're not investigative journalists, so I don't get to be like Jason Schreier and go and have sources and shit like that, because I don't know anyone out in the industry.
We know one guy, but he's not going to tell us anything.
No, he's going to tell us shit. Good, because he gets to keep his job that way. But it's put a bad taste in the mouths of everyone when it comes to this stuff now.
Yeah.
And like I said, that concern is unfounded and probably a dumb concern to have, but it is going to be there for a lot of people. It's going to be this
weird paranoia thing that just seeps into the industry, and I don't know how this is going to play out.
I don't know how the industry bounces back from that. I don't know what the fallout is, and I don't know where we go from here.
It's going to be
because it seems like the industry is moving towards less of having these big tent post companies and more having these smaller offshoot little hubs that cover games in a way you prefer, rather than having just the big critical analysis. But the thing that concerns me, like I said, is that in order for us to have websites like a Giant Bomb or a Waypoint or a Kinda Funny or a Rooster Teeth or like any of those outlets that do things that do things in like a slant or a spin, your fun houses, your whatevers. In order for us to have those, we need to still have the grounded benchmark critical analysis. Yeah. The people who just go in with scientific goggles and go like, this game plays well, does this, does that, graphics, like just the bare bones. We need those people still there because it is on the back of the critical analysis that we can do other things. Like
IGN spins out that shit. Like, they'll have the person review the game who reviewed the game. Like, I bet Jared Petty, when Dragon Quest XI comes out, he's going to be on Podcast Beyond talking about that, which is their PlayStation podcast, and he's going to be talking about his opinion. He's a contractor for IGN, but he's probably going to be talking there. He's going to be talking about, and they spin off their reviews into more content. They're going to be, the fucking wiki for that is going to be, everyone's going to be working on that really hard.
But not just that, but like one of the most interesting websites that has popped over the last couple of years is Waypoint.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they're fucking incredible, and I think the thing is though is that what they do is so critical. Like, we need that as part of the industry, but coupled with the fact that like someone needs to do the critical analysis on a video game and be like, this thing doesn't work. Like the story in this game.
Yeah.
And it's weird, and I don't know why, and I don't like it. Yeah. And then on the back of that, a company like Waypoint can look at it and go, cool, why doesn't it work?
Oh, it's because they only gave the company like 5 years of pre-production and 18 months of actual development. Thank you, EA.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's because the labor conditions in this studio are fucked. It's because the hiring practices are such in the gaming industry that there's mostly straight white men. It's because of this reason, that reason. They get to pull apart why a thing is bad.
Systemic reasons.
Yeah, and do more of a critical analysis on not the thing itself, but what caused that.
Yeah.
And the only way we do that is if someone critically analyzes it first.
Yeah.
And my concern is that this motherfucker has put a ripple effect through that layer of the industry.
I think that layer has so much integrity. Like, I would not expect anyone from Waypoint, Jason Schreier, I don't expect any of them to ever do this. Like, anything close to this. No. And I think the people, the developers who look at this, hopefully they're in tune enough to like just look at it and like, oh, that's a fucked up situation. They might be a bit more hesitant to, but that's a different sourcing, and like being a source is very different to just copying someone's surface level review. I think I see where you're coming from, but I feel it's not quite.
No. Like, I'm not saying that those two things will be compared. What I'm saying is the industry needs sites like GameSpot, like IGN, like Kotaku to continue to exist.
Yeah.
They need to continue to exist, and they need to continue to exist in their current form.
Evolve as need be.
Evolve as need be, but in terms of
for the top down.
Yeah, in terms of they are from the general public perspective, they are the outlets that give you the score.
Yeah.
They give you the should I buy it, should I not score.
Yeah.
And we need those people to exist because the smaller offshoot sites don't have the physical capability to do both the should I buy it, should I not score, and their own critical analysis that they do in their own spin. They need the people to do the critical analysis at the other company so that they can then look at it. They don't need it. I mean, people obviously they play the games themselves as well.
Yeah.
But having places like IGN, GameSpot, and all that kind of this whole like symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
Of like they will give scores to games and give reviews to games that then turn those games into talking points for the industry at large.
Yeah.
And off the back of those talking points, we can then find other things to look at.
Yeah.
And if they suddenly find themselves in a situation where what they are saying is being questioned at every turn, the roll-on effect to the other ones is detrimental. Of like, well, I can't trust what these guys say about these labor practices because it's, you know, it's working off of a game that the review for it says that it's bad, but maybe I can't trust that review. Maybe it's actually a good game and the labor practices are fine.
I see where you're coming from there.
Like it's...
People are taking people's biases too far.
Exactly.
There's a little bit of that at the moment with people like, oh, there's an ad on your site, but you gave it a shitty score. But then, like, the editors will always be like, we didn't know they were running ads. Mm-hmm. We have a very different, like, we have the back-end version of IGN that we posted. We do not see ads. We do not talk to sales. Like, I think there's, like, a rule that, like, they can't talk to sales.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, and that's the reason, like, IGN only gave Call of Duty a 7 this year, while, like, fucking just plastered Call of Duty ads across that site.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
I mean, it's
but
it's that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but getting down to the more.
No. I was going to say that ad v game score thing. That whole thing kind of came to a head at GameSpot in 2007 with Jeff Gerstmann. That whole thing.
I don't know about this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no.
Really?
I don't know the origin of Giant Bomb. All I know is they just left.
It's the reason Giant Bomb exists. Mm-hmm. So Jeff Gerstmann, I apologize if I get a little bit of the details wrong.
It's a 10-year-old story.
It is. But also, like, he's been very frank about the situation. But also, he's...
Jeff being frank?
I know, right? But also, to his credit, he's also been the kind of person, especially over the last, like, several years, where he's just like, we don't need to talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
It's dead, it's done, it's in the past, it's, you know, especially considering now Giant Bomb is part of the GameSpot community again.
Yeah, I heard something like, what happened? Like, yeah. So,
essentially what ended up happening was... he reviewed a game, specifically Kane and Lynch 2.
Mm-hmm. Continue.
He reviewed the game and gave it a poor score. Because it was, in his opinion, a fucking shit show. He did not like it one little bit. So he gave it a poor score. GameSpot at the time had a marketing deal with, I think, Square Enix. Or whatever.
No, I don't think it was Square at the time. I think it was IO at least.
Yeah, I think so. But they had some sort of marketing deal where Kane and Lynch was sponsoring the website for a little bit, and their banner ads were all over it. And essentially, Jeff submitted the review, and he had a talk. They were like, you can't give this game such a low score because it sponsored us. Because we have this, you know, deal, we can't have the score so low. And Jeff's response was, fuck you.
Yeah.
The review stands. And they had a disagreement, and they parted ways. And he was like, fine, fuck it, I don't care. And he left, and he just, like, didn't work for, like, a few months or something.
Yeah.
And then eventually, figured out and came up with the Whiskey Media thing, and then created Giant Bomb with Ryan Davis and a few other guys who left along the same lines of, like, man, this is a fucking shit show. We don't want to be a part of this. Bye. And that, in turn, ended up changing some of the GameSpot internal policies.
Yeah. And every other site's like, oh, shit.
Yeah. And what ended up happening is that Giant Bomb grew and grew and grew and became a success. And CBS Interactive, which owns GameSpot, then made an offer to purchase Giant Bomb.
Interesting.
And they were like... it was a good business decision. It got them into a better place. They were able to do a lot more coverage. Like, it worked on all fronts.
Is that why they have this, like, the New York crew and...
Correct. They were able to expand and do more things and all that kind of stuff and get, like, a better... And essentially they are part of CBS now, which is the same family as GameSpot.
Interesting.
The West Coast crew work in the same building as the GameSpot crew. They work in the same building.
I suppose like there's only so much real estate in San Francisco. So it's just like IGN has worked with so many different random companies, and they're down the road from Ubisoft at the moment. It's just everything in San Francisco is just built on top of each other. Literally. Yeah,
and so essentially, like I actually in my head I have no. Like, logically, I have no qualms with the gaming industry, like the reviewing industry at large, because I know the people from, like, people like Jeff Gerstmann and his ilk, like the people from that era, have that kind of integrity.
Yeah.
And I have no qualms with that. It is the new generation that we need to kind of question.
Yeah, no, that's a good point as well. Because, like Jason, Greg, Miller, Jeff Gerstmann, they're all, from that old... Like, they grew up reading the magazines.
Jeff Gerstmann is one of the pioneers. Like, he fucking started GameSpot. He was one of the first hires.
I didn't even know... Oh, okay, yep.
He was one of... Like, I'm pretty sure it's him, like, a couple other guys, like Ryan Davis and a couple other... I can't remember their names.
Yeah.
But he was part of the first iteration of GameSpot.
Yeah, okay.
He's been there since... Like, He's been with the gaming industry for over 20 years. Yeah. Like, the dude is...
He knows his shit.
Like, respected, and he's a pioneer of the industry.
Yeah.
And I have nothing but respect for that man. If I ever get to meet him, I would love to shake his hand and be like, thank you.
Yeah.
Because he seems like a wonderful person.
Yeah.
Along with being one of my favourite personalities on the internet.
I've always respected the fuck out of Johnny Bomb. Like, listening to the podcast now, it's exactly the same as what I was doing like a few years ago. And which is, I'm like, okay, there's just more of it. There's just another show.
Yeah.
But it's good. But anyway, I get your point. But then it's so weird because there's. I hope he doesn't. If Philip Mucin doesn't burn all of them, because Philip and Alana Pierce were hired around the same time, and her trajectory is fucking awesome. His is in the bin. Yeah. I hope Alana is more of the
model.
The model.
Yeah.
Than Philip. I think they need to be wary of Philip's. Especially, but Alana's going to do great things. She's like a few years older than me, so she's going to fucking destroy.
I'm pretty sure she's my age.
Yeah.
And she's not just in terms of like where she's going, but also just like what she represents, like a diverse gaming culture, like not just the white men we see all the time, like something different. I would love that.
She's still a white woman, which is like not to put all this on ladder form, but she's like the next rung, just like white woman.
But like women,
it is still such a big minority in video games.
Women in video games, I mean, they're not a minority; they're actually a fair subsect, but they are considered and sort of
a voice in the industry.
They are marginalised in the industry as opposed to being given their fair shake, which is incredible. Like I said, she's a fucking fantastic. She's doing that no clip thing, and I want to check that out.
Yeah,
what was she doing it on? Dream Daddy.
Oh yes.
Yeah, they're doing that. They're doing that no clip documentary on Dream Daddy, which I'm really looking forward to. So yeah, I want to have a look at that. But in summary, fuck Philip Mucin.
Yeah.
Did you want to just talk about a couple of little bits and pieces, like other gaming news, just small hits?
Yeah. Anything you want to talk about?
I saw a story coming out that Ubisoft says that there will be no Assassin's Creed next year.
Oh, yeah.
They are taking a skip on 2019, which is interesting because everyone thought they were going to skip this year, but
yeah,
no.
It's weird. But then we're going to go bi-yearly, but now it looks like we're going to do a 1-2. I think that they're just like the dev cycle's just sort of like, it's happening. I don't think they want to do a yearly thing now. I think it's just, hey, we'll just produce the game as best quality as we can. We won't shit them out anymore. We won't have any Unity incidents because that's what killed them.
Yeah. I think what it is essentially that Origins is really good. I listen to the Amalgam show for my opinions on it though, because like I don't care for it.
Yeah.
But they've got this engine. They've got this lovely set of assets.
It's a new set of. It's a new engine. Yeah.
New assets.
There's so many
everything.
Creek assets already in.
Yeah.
Origin, so they can just copy paste a bunch of them.
Exactly. Might as well get the most use out of it. Use them again. Make a better story. Make a better game. Yada yada yada.
Assassin's Creed. Oh fuck! It's Rome. It's going to be great.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, but that's going to be 2020.
Yes, but we will not be seeing it. So after Odyssey comes out later on this
Black
year,
Flag 2.
God, I wish. After Odyssey comes out later on this year, there will not be another Assassin's Creed until at least 2020.
And they even, like, the quote specified that it's not just mainline games. They're not going to do spin-offs or anything as well.
Good.
Which I'm like,
series.
that's interesting, because usually there's a mobile version, but they're going to make it go quiet. Which, even, like, when they took 17 off, no, 16, it was 2016 off, there was still Assassin's Creed Chronicles coming out, there was still the movie, there was still the Ezio collection, they still kept Assassin's Creed alive. But
they need it.
They want to take that year off, so it's like, hey.
Yeah.
And then they want to make us hungry again. Like, by the time Origins comes out, I think a few people were like, hey, what's Assassin's Creed doing?
Yeah.
Origin looks good. And then,
Assassin's Creed needs a break. A proper break. And I think that's good. I think that's really, really good. There were a couple of things at a Gamescom.
Yeah, such as?
It wasn't a lot. It was mostly, like, weird peripheral stuff.
Like, the most interesting one for me is, like, Hitman 2 is going to come with Hitman 1 with, like, remixed gameplay. Like, the gameplay from 2 is now in 1.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, that's interesting. Well done, IO, and thanks, Warner, for letting them do that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple of, like... It was all a bit weird hardware stuff. Like, PlayStation and Xbox both announced, like, collector's edition controllers.
Yeah.
Which was like, okay, fine, whatever. It seemed that Gamescom this year was mostly heavy on, like, collector's editions. A lot of collector's editions for things were announced at Gamescom, and it's like, okay, cool, we knew there were going to be collector's editions for this stuff. There's always a Ubisoft collector's edition. There's always, that kind of stuff, but that seemed fine. Yeah, I didn't hear
There's one interesting story that came out a couple of days ago in terms of the financing Xboxes with Xbox All Access. Did you hear about that?
Yeah! What was that?
So what that is, pay $22 a month, you get an Xbox One, I'm not sure which model, it must be an S.
Sure, yeah, probably an S.
The Xbox, you get Xbox Live Gold, and you get Xbox Game Pass for $22 a month, and you get a controller, obviously. You get to pay that for $22 a month, lock-in contract for 2 years. After the end of the 2 years, you get to keep the console. The idea is that you...
Or... And this is the problem with the half-step models, and what the quick iteration and the iPhoneification of the consoles is. Yeah, lock-in contract, 2 years, you get to keep the console, or bring back your console and get the new model.
I wouldn't be fucking surprised,
Yeah. And then what they do is, to make everyone want to come back and sign up the subscription again, they make a new model every 2 years. And then all of a sudden it's a model every 1 year, so that people will actually break their contracts to pay more money to get them all out, and it just continues on. It's a phone plan.
I would... Yearly? Or even bi-yearly, I think is a bit excessive, but... I could see tri-yearly.
Every year. iPhones come out every fucking year.
I'm not saying for iPhones, I'm saying for consoles.
I don't see the difference. Like, I don't see why people say, like, oh, if a console came out every year, like, if they did that, if a console came out every year and you still had to pay $300, $400, $500 for it every time it came out, yes, I understand. That's dumb. I'm not paying $1,100 a year for this thing. But... if a new one comes out every year and I can pay $22 a month for it and just upgrade that thing, yes, I will do that.
I just don't see the benefit for it. Like,
the benefit is they make more money.
Oh yeah, but also
that's all it is.
I don't see benefit for the consumer in terms of.
I do.
You're getting more power, and then we're just on the iPhone model where everything just goes to the lowest common denominator.
Yeah, and absolutely no. But the benefit to the consumer is that you don't have to fork out a month's worth of pay to pick up this new console. You can pay X amount of dollars per month, and you get to have the latest and greatest version of that console at your fingertips at all times. The thing where it's going to sting people is that, like, working where I worked over the last couple of years, people fucking suck at looking after their consoles.
Yeah?
Yeah, the greater majority of the population sucks at it.
Okay.
Like, really bad. And so... like, it'll be weird to see what kind of, like, especially in Australia with the Australian consumer law and how pro-consumer it actually is. It'll be interesting to see, like, what kind of warranties you get and how that's affected.
I wouldn't be surprised if one, this doesn't launch in Australia. Like, the next Xbox launches, we don't have the system because we don't have the subscription service and, like, built in.
Oh, yeah.
Second, if it does in its test markets doesn't do very well.
They scrap it.
They scrap it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that happening. Also, I can't see. What's his chops, big boy, Xbox boy?
Phil Spencer.
Philly Spence. I can't see him sort of being on board with this idea, except for the revenue. But I can see Microsoft.
I could see him being on board with it because it means like his whole thing is that he wants people. He wants people to play games. He doesn't care what system they play it on. He wants them to play games. And this kind of subscription service puts more consoles in the hands of people who can't afford them right now, and therefore gives more people the ability to play games. I can totally see this being his idea.
You're right.
Like I said, and if this does take off, seriously brace yourselves for a new Xbox every year. And for it to be subscription service like everything is, and then, I've been saying it for a couple of years now, wait for the subscription service, like, capitalist model, this new, consumer, the new retail model of subscriptions rather than actually purchasing a thing, watch it all collapse in on itself. Because people will have too many subscriptions and can't keep track of them and don't want them anymore and will just cancel them all. It's coming. It's coming pretty fast, I think. But I think that entire retail model will eventually collapse in on itself, and companies will have to come up with a new way of doing it.
We just go back to buying apps. Who'd have thunk?
Yeah, actually buying shit.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I don't know. Might not even be a thing. This is a rumor or a report. I think it is, but who the fuck knows what that means.
Yeah, who knows?
This could also just be in pitch stage. Like, this could not get off the ground.
Yeah, this could have been one dude in a meeting being like, "What if we did this?" and then being like, maybe.
And then some guy walked out and told Jason Schreier. I don't know actually.
Yeah,
I don't know who got it, but yeah,
no. Jason Schreier is just in all these meetings.
he is the fly on the wall.
Yeah, he's just there all times.
He can just shapeshift into the fly.
Yeah. Is he a shapeshifter?
Jason Schreier.
Did we just break news?
Yes. Jason Schreier, the flyer.
Jesus
I
Christ.
hate it. I'm sorry. Anything else? I want to talk about the Doom Eternal gameplay trailer with you.
Why?
Because it's fun.
It looks like Doom.
It's Doom 2.
It is Doom 2.
Like it is.
It is Doom 2.
2016.0. It's so. They have a grapple hook now.
Yeah, I mean that the movement looks great.
It's like they took their motto of forward.
Always moving forward.
Yeah,
forward momentum.
Forward momentum gameplay.
Yeah.
Forward that thing, and just times it by 100.
Yeah,
like
it's exactly what they need. Like I looked at that and went, good. I didn't even need to watch the whole trailer.
You know,
I did.
I didn't, but same.
Yeah, I did, but I didn't. I saw 30 seconds and went, yup. I'm in on that. Yup.
Yeah. I love the part where Doom Guy's just walking through everything, gently takes the lanyard and puts it on the thing, gently takes the gun from the guy.
Yeah.
And everyone's just, oh, fuck. I love that. It was such a good gameplay demo. It was maybe a bit too long, but it was for the QuakeCon crowd, so...
Yeah, so they wanted to lap it up. But yeah,
fucking so good.
It looks great. I kind of don't want them to say anything else.
Oh, I'm good. I'm set.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much got the pre-order down.
Release that game. I'm done and ready for it.
Coming to Switch simultaneously. I like the quote that Giant Bombcast said. It's like, is Doom anime now?
Is everything anime now?
Yeah, because that's what they've been into.
Yeah.
And the other one, for me, that's interesting...
If you've been listening to Giant Bomb again, you should definitely listen to All Systems Goku.
Is that another show they do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or they have been doing. It's Jeff and Dan watching Dragon Ball Z Kai.
Yeah.
And they got all the way to the end of the Cell saga, and they've taken a break for a little bit. Fair enough. You should listen to that because
so did Toei.
But you should listen to that because I think you would get a kick out of it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Another thing I want to quickly talk about: Dishonored is taking a break, probably because the sales aren't as what they expected, and also I think.
Which is a shame because Bethesda seemed to have been so behind them, regardless of their sales. But hey.
I think it's like Dishonored 2 and Prey not necessarily being the best of successes. But like you've said, I think you've said it before, they don't need to be mammoth successes because they can just put Skyrim on everything.
Correct.
They have ESO raking in money.
Yep. I mean, they put Skyrim on the fucking Alexa.
Yeah.
Like,
shits and gigs.
Yeah.
Like,
these guys have got change to spare, and they've got Fallout 76 coming out. They've got Fallout 76 coming out later on this year. They've got whatever Starfield. Whatever Starfield is on the horizon, and then Elder Scrolls 6. These guys are set for life. They don't need Dishonored and Prey to make a lot of money.
They need to make a bit of money because they're a business.
But, no, yeah, they do. But I think for Arcane themselves, when you are making... I can't speak for the developers, but here's my thought. When you are making something or doing something a lot and you seem to not quite hit your mark several times...
It's a bit demoralising.
Exactly. It becomes it's a bit disheartening, and I'm sure they want to make a banger. They want to have that one great success again, because Dishonored was that. They definitely got...
Dishonored was a surprising success.
Yeah.
New IP at the end of a generation.
Yeah, and it did...
Spec Ops wasn't a new IP.
No.
Cancel that thought.
Yeah, kind of. But, like, I can see them being in a situation where they're like, this isn't working for us. We've done this so many times. Let's try something new. And I'm happy for them to try something new.
Yeah, I whatever new IP they want to do, hope they kind of talked about, like, internet, like, games of service sort of kind of talk. I'm like, I don't want that out of you guys. I want a single-player focused. But we'll see. Maybe they come up with something interesting.
We'll see how they go.
When do you think the next Prey reboot is?
Let's see. What was the original Prey? 2009?
It was before that. There was like an old DOS version of it. There's like a 90s version of...
I'm just thinking like based on the recent timeline. When was the
Prey 90s, Prey 2000, 2006, 7-ish, I think.
Okay.
And then Prey 2 was going to be a big thing, and everyone was like, fuck, Prey 2 is real good. And then Prey was 2016.
So I'm going to say
2026?
Yeah, I'm going to say 2027.
Yeah.
Is that... Yeah, it's about 9 years. Yeah. That seems about right.
Yeah.
It's a Kingdom Hearts development cycle.
Yeah. I think that's it.
We'll see a new Prey in exactly one Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
Fuck.
What does that even mean? That's so layered.
Oh, man.
And Spyro was delayed.
Yeah, Spyro was delayed, which is weird. I don't know why.
Hopefully, it's to put all those games onto one disc.
You saw the thing where it's a download code?
Yeah. The last two games
that made me laugh so hard.
I was like...
That made me laugh so hard because I saw so many people being like, why the fuck isn't it on the disc? I'm like, guys... Okay, A, Crash Bandicoot, they put them all on one disc, but those games are, like, infinitely smaller...
They're linear, yeah.
...in scope than Spyro is. B, this is not just a fresh coat of paint. This is a ground-up remaster.
Yeah.
That game is big. Putting all three of those... Like, when you think about the scope and size of a Spyro, like, it's pretty comparable size-wise to what we do in regular games today. It's just that the polygons were lower.
Yeah.
So
and there was less to do in those smaller maps.
Exactly. So now they're upping that res and giving that more polish and shine. Like, of course. Like, I thought that probably at least one of the games would be a download code. I guess I'm a little surprised that two of them are and one of them isn't. But at the end of the day, like, that's the way games are now. They're too big to fit on a disc. You need a patch at least.
Yeah. I think, like...
And my thing is, like, are you one of those people that's like, no, fuck Spyro 1 and 3, I want play 2. Like, when I get that...
Real good.
2's real good, but when I get that game, I'm going to play through all of them in succession.
Yeah.
So while I'm playing 1, 2 and 3 can download in the background, man.
I think that's probably the business decision for it, but, like, there's a third of the reason to buy the disc. Or you could just download them straight from the store. Like,
yeah, but the thing is, like, if you buy the... My thought is that the disc is actually a better proposition because I can insert the disc and play the first game, and I'll bet you the code is tied to the disc. Like, I
know PS3 games used to do that, but I don't know how that works anymore.
Like Modern Warfare on the...
Oh, yes, for the pre-order bonus.
Yes, for Infinite Warfare on the PS4, it was a download code. So you had to have the Infinite Warfare disc in the drive, and then the code entered into the thing, and then it would let you play.
I remember PS3 games being, like, Assassin's Creed Revelations. You would put it in, and then you would also have to install Assassin's Creed on it, so you could... And in order to play Assassin's Creed, you had to have the Revelations disc in. That's how that sort of ran.
Yeah, so similar sort of thing. I would expect that you would have to have the Spyro disc in the drive, and then you would enter the codes and you would get both games. Yeah. And then as long as the disc was in the drive, it'll play 2 and 3.
Yeah.
But as soon as you take the disc out, 2 and 3 won't work.
Yeah.
To stop you from being like, oh, download 2, 3, sell 1.
Or just give it to your friends and give them 2 and 3 and just keep it.
Yeah. And so, yeah, like I just don't get it. Like the disc version is the best one because it's like, okay, well, I buy the disc, I put the disc in the drive. Before I start playing, I enter my codes, I start downloading 2 and 3, then I start playing 1. And those games aren't short, like, it'll probably take you a couple of days to do those games.
Yeah.
By the time you finish that game, you'll have 2 and 3 ready to go.
Even if you've got my internet.
Yeah, you don't have to wait, bro, it's fine.
Yeah,
Chill
I think,
out,
like,
guys.
people, like, just saw it, like, fuck, but then, like, when you sit and think about it, you're like, not too much of an issue. I think that'll be it. And I do also want to get out of that fucking October window, which is just cramped.
It's September, wasn't it, before?
Oh, my bad. Yeah, September.
Well, the September-October window is cramped as well. But now they're launching in November, like, alongside Pokemon.
Yeah, 2 kid-friendly games. That's not the best idea. I'm like, yeah, November makes sense. There's less games there. But, like, Hitman, Pokemon, that's it.
I wanted to talk about Pokemon, but I think we might be running out of time.
How so? With what Pokemon?
There was a bunch of people who got complaining on the internet about the fact that
complaining on the internet?
Yeah, I know,
Breaking news!
About the fact that it appears that there are no abilities in the Pokemon Let's Go games.
Oh. It's a baby game. It's a baby game.
It's a Kanto remake. Abilities didn't exist until, like, Gen 3.
Yeah, and you got Fire Red, Leaf Green for that.
Yeah. That was the thing that blew my mind, is people being like, oh, there's no abilities in Pokemon. I'm like, there wasn't to begin with. It's just going back to the original. Why are you so pissed off at this?
You've got Fire Red, Leaf Green if you want to play that version.
I mean, you're getting Mega Evolution. You just don't get the abilities. Everything else is there.
This isn't a combat-heavy game. This is baby's first baby Pokemon game.
I know, it's weird, too, because, like I said, it's... Not only is it a remake of Kanto, but it feels like it is them trying to go back again and, like, declutter Pokemon for a second. Because over the years, they've added in, like, the genders and then the breeding and then the EVs and the IVs, which are already there, but then, like, wasted train those, and then they added in the abilities and the weather effects and, like, all this other stuff on top of it, and it just keeps stacking. And then there's Mega Evolution and Z moves and all this shit that just kept going up and up and up and up. And it did get to a point where you're like, what the fuck do I do next? And it feels like Let's Go is just their ability, like, just their attempt to just go strip it all down, back to basics, and we'll see how it goes. I'm actually looking forward to that game.
Yeah, no, it's going to be, for me, it's going to be a good return to Pokemon.
Yeah, return to form.
And I haven't played one in a while, so that's it. So,
yeah, we'll wrap it up there.
My final note on this notes page is just power presentation ends with demon lightsaber, question mark, exclamation mark. That's for Doom. I'm like, fuck yeah. Like,
yeah, hells yeah. There'll be like an energy sword type thing.
God.
It makes sense. It makes sense
because but I did not expect it.
Because Halo was inspired by Doom.
An
alien, but like the way...
Yeah.
And so it makes sense that now Doom kind of takes from Halo, like the weird cyclical nature.
What if Doom... Doom doesn't really focus on a multi... Well, shouldn't really focus on a multi... I was going to say, what if Doom ends up overtaking Halo in terms of popularity? Because Halo just seems to be in the shit.
We'll see what they do with the next Halo Infinite.
It's apparently Halo 6.
Yeah, it is.
Just call it Halo
yeah, it
6?
is. I got points for that prediction.
Oh, and I also got prediction right with Smash Bros. Bethesda. The Quake might end up being...
Yeah, it might end up being... Yeah, that I saw that. Yeah, that's super fucked up.
I'm on board with that.
Yeah.
I don't even like Quake, and I will never be good at that.
Yeah.
Even sufficient at that to be able to play Doom Guy or Skyrim Guy.
Doom Guy.
But anyway,
we'll wrap it up here. Remember to check out the Amalgam Show later on in the week for the pop culture things that we care about. Support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Amalgam Show, where you can see the Amalgam Archaeology series. We'll be filming another one of those for next month. Okay. If you have any questions, please comment below or email us at amalgamshow@gmail.com. And if you enjoyed, please leave the like, the share, the subscribe, and the notification bell. We will see you next time.
hopefully.
Bye.
Bye.